Greetings, Abraham. The question that drew me here was, what stands to gain from my misery?
Only an exaggerated desire which is instantly received and lived by source. We don't want to use the word misery because it's so exaggerated, but to be fair, we have to. In your most uncomfortable moments, you are asking for solution, and source becomes that solution, and the universe expands. Sometimes people will say, well, now, Abraham, if source energy is pure positive energy, why would I expose myself to the possibility of that? And we say, because from that vantage point, the possibility of the misery was outweighed by the possibility of the expanded idea to which you knew you could easily flow because you knew that all the currents would be calling you toward it. In other words, you were banking on the stream being so powerful that the contrast would give you the benefit of the desire and that the stream would call you to it. And it does every time. In other words, some people have to croak before they go. But it's a short time in misery in relationship with the whole of the eternal expansion. So you're just looking at it with broader view. You knew also that a joyous person would feel a great deal of contrast between his joy and the misery that someone else is feeling. The joyous person cannot begin to feel the misery because you can't even relate to it. And a person in misery, since everything's relational, isn't as miserable as the joyous person might make it out to be, especially if he can relax and feel the relief of the misery. Have you ever had a toothache, which you think you might not survive, and then it stops? Have you ever been so hungry that you think you're going to die, and then you eat? Or so thirsty, or so hot? Now, this is a good example. So you're really hot and thirsty. You've been hiking, extending yourself in a stronger way than you meant to. You went with somebody hardier than yourself, and your tongue is hanging out, and you are really thirsty, and you could use a rest, and your muscles want to sit down for a minute. And so you sit and you drink. And oh boy, does it feel good. But you've been much more comfortable than that many other times. We're wanting to point out the relativity of it, you see. The misery will cease in the moment that you relax and turn with the flow, because there's no misery in movement. The misery is in the opposition to that flow. Oh, hear that. Everything that you would really call severe negative emotion is because you're bucking the current of who you have become. You've become something more than you're letting yourself be, and that is tormenting, and that is misery. But the point that we're making with you is that you don't have to be everything that you want for the misery to cease. You just have to stop going in opposition. When you turn, the misery ceases every time. There's a big difference. Oh, we haven't talked about this before. Vibrationally, we've been offering a big spread from appreciation into knowing, into believing, into hoping, into frustration, into anger, into greater anger, into rage, into revenge, into fear, into despair. So we've been making it seem incremental. But what we want to say is that there are really only two emotions. And the one that feels good is going with the flow, and the one that feels bad is going against the flow. Period. And since everything's relative, then your misery can turn immediately when you stop going against the flow and start going with the flow. And even though you might be what might seem like a long way from joy and ecstasy, turning and going with the flow is the key to the improvement, the immediate improvement in the way you feel. And then the manifestation is only a matter of time, of how much time it takes that current that is now carrying you to get you there. Oh, hear this. This is new too, and so important for you to get. We're sort of bouncing off the walls with enthusiasm here at the prospect of you understanding this powerful point. When you turn and begin going with the flow, your work is done if you can maintain that attitude. Because the current's going to take care of everything else. So the only thing you have to be careful not to do is to think that thought again that turns you back around. In other words, once you get turned that way, the temptation is to go back that way. But once you get turned that way, the temptation is to get turned back that way. When you get turned that way, start enjoying the momentum of the flow. And then the gap, or the amount of time it takes from having turned to get to where you want to be, is a very short period of time. And the only reason that manifestations ever take a long time is because you turn, and then 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 you turn. And then you complain that the flow doesn't work for you, when it will, every time.
That continuous turning results in a stasis. You remain in one place.
Well, you can't really stand still because,
True.
really good questions you're asking. What happens is, as you keep turning, the contrast keeps causing you to launch more rockets of desire. So the stream gets stronger. Every time you turn that way, this stream gets stronger. Ooh. Isn't that interesting? You can't hold back from what life has caused you to become, you see.
So you're actually using the misery as a tool.
So let's call it what it is, contrast, which gives birth to desires that when I go with, I feel so good. And when I resist what I've become, I am miserable. It's all relative, isn't it? When you're in alignment, nothing bothers you. And when you're not, a small thing can take you into utter misery.
It seems like the misery is compelling unto itself, as though it's an active power that draws you in.
And there is truth to that because there is momentum in every thought. And law of attraction is giving you access to more thoughts that support your misery than the thought that's going to break you loose from it. In other words, it does take more effort to break loose of the momentum. And we know the contradiction you must be feeling. What you're wanting to say is, oh, now come on, Abraham, you've been telling us about this non-physical energy stream and who we really are and this powerful current and we've become and become and become and become, and so there's this big stream that is flowing. How could there ever be any other stream? And we say, did you hear what we came to together just now? It was first time and it's so powerful. The only reason that you ever feel that other stream is because you're not letting yourself go with this stream. Oh, that's so big. The only resistance that exists in all of the universe is the resistance of not relaxing and going with the stream. Oh, friends, that's bigger than you know. And why would anyone not relax and go with the stream? Because you've been taught that that's the lazy way. Because you've been taught that you're supposed to suffer and struggle in order to achieve. Because you've used some other standards other than the feel of the flow as the reason to give your attention to something. Esther laughs because sometimes Jerry and Esther, they're living like pioneers in that every day on the road there's something new to deal with. Something new that they haven't experienced before, that they're figuring out how to meld it into their life experience. And so they have lots of conversations about the way to do things or the direction to take or the route to take. And Esther will laugh commonly as she will say to Jerry, now wait a minute, I'm more interested in being right than feeling good. And there are a lot of things that you would use as your criteria rather than feeling good and going with the flow. Things like the truth. Mm-hmm. You'll say, well, it's true, so I can't not think about this. It's an actual state of my financial being or my physical being. It's true. And we say, there are a lot of things that are true that when you focus upon, don't let you go with the stream. And there are a lot of things that are true that when you focus on, do let you go with the stream. So don't let the truth of it be your criteria for whether you choose it or not. Let how it feels be your criteria of how you choose it or not. And that's how you get into that bigger flow. Oh, this has been very meaningful because you've helped us to say something that we are so wanting to say. And that is, the only time you ever feel negative emotion is because you're not letting yourself go with the flow. And so you got to ask, why would I not let myself go with the flow? And we say, well, first of all, you might not have realized it was there. Or somebody else has convinced you that there's some other thing that is more important than going with the flow. And what it usually is pleasing them. The reason that they would rather you please them than that you listen to your own guidance and go with your own flow is because they've forgotten about the flow too, and they're still in the position of feeling good when they see some conditions but feeling bad when they see others. So they're still attempting the impossible task of controlling conditions, and you're part of the condition that they're needing to control so that they can feel better.
Right.
And you do them a big favor by being uncontrollable. Sometimes you even got to be born in a way that you can't be controllable, don't you? Yes.
Does it take the same amount of time to undo what you've done? That same 68 seconds?
It takes much more effort to go against the flow than it does to stop and let the flow carry you.
Okay.
The time is only how long it takes me to stop pushing against and allow the gap to close. What you've done in 30 or 40 or 50 years, you can realign this afternoon. You projected yourself into the physical body, explored contrast, and gave birth to more, which source became. Getting the picture? So can you feel what source is becoming as a result of all of this life exposure and life experience? So now that non-physical energy is expressing into new babies. That's why they hit the ground running. That's why they're born internet ready. Because they are that source energy that is the extension, the compilation, the wholeness of all that you have lived. So this vibrational escrow that you are all individually contributing to, that is this incredible mass consciousness vibrational escrow, that's who they are, and that's what they are being born into. That's why they're so ready for it when they get here. And that, friends, is what the generation gap is all about. They're already vibrationally up to speed. You've been paddling upstream. You've been practicing the art of resistance. Do you know that today you could decide, you could hear us and get it? You could get the idea of this huge stream of vibrational escrow that is there waiting for you and calling you to it. And you could relax and stop explaining and justifying and struggling. And you could, in a day, get up to speed with where those little ones are as they are born. When they're born, they look at you and you know what they're saying? Hi. Ooh, what a wonderful place this is with so much potential. Oh, I'm so glad I came. And you say, be careful. Watch out. I felt like that at first when I got here, but there's a lot of things you got to worry about. I got a list. Come to me every day and I'll remind you how hard life is. And I'll teach you that there are these canoes and there are these oars. And what's really important is that you point upstream and you work really hard. And if you do, others who are sweating and struggling like you will really, really like you. And we say, the little ones are saying to you, what? Have you lost your mind? Have you forgotten that there is only a stream of well-being? Have you forgotten who we are? Have you forgotten that source energy will give us anything that life causes us to ask for, that source becomes it, and that the resources are there for us? Those little ones come as teachers, as do the beasts of your planet. Jerry and Esther walked around the lake every day for a few days. And every day, the mother duck was sitting with her head under her wing. Every day. And her babies were out paddling around, squawking around. And Esther said to the mother, is this all you do? Just bask in the well-being of your life while you let your little ones fend for themselves? She did not wake up to answer, but we will tell you that the beasts of your planet and the babies of your planet are remembering that the current of well-being is dominant, and that when you stop the struggle, it will be yours. So, what do you want to talk about? We're eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. It will be a wonderful unfolding. Those who are preparing your question will come first. The questions that are born out of what you hear here are wonderful questions. In other words, as you feel the inspiration, we will feel you feel it. And today we will have an experience of co-creating at its best. We encourage you to understand that we know what you want to know, and we know the best way to explain it to you. And through a sequence of wonderful questions and answers, everything that you've come to understand will happen here. It really is co-creating at its best. So don't let yourself get frustrated at not getting called on, because that frustration will only hold you apart from the answer that we're giving to you, and everyone else will get it and you won't.